Alright, so we all know DRS is being pushed on both sides of the fence now, AMC and GME, with zero evidence. So what I decided to do is I wanted to wait for the first AMC YouTuber to show up pushing the DRS narrative, and that YouTuber has reared his head. And it is none other than FroggyStonks from YouTube, and he's on Twitter as well. If you would like to get roped into Sigh, I would check his channel out. But here, I want to show you a conversation I had with this gentleman regarding DRS. And this is what you can expect from these people moving forward if you have any questions and you ask them about it or ask them to show evidence for their claims. So let's go ahead and take a look. So this is what he sends me about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now, funny enough, this guy actually wanted me to come on his channel a few months ago, and I told him that I was against computer share, and he seemed fine with it back then. But now, let's go ahead and take a look at what he had to say. He says, you do know that computer share is only a holding company and does not put your assets at risk. So the story of needing SIPC is not needed. So that's him basically saying, yeah, SIPC insurance is not needed because you have DRS. Okay. They have zero risk of going bankrupt. Okay. And they don't do anything with your asset, hence why they don't lend out your shares. I wish you would do more digging and find out why they don't need insurance like a broker. They are not a broker and don't lend your shares. Okay, that's fine and dandy, but again, you don't provide any evidence for anything in this paragraph. He also says, call them for the facts. DRS is 100% the way to prove that there are more shares owned than the float. I get tired of seeing misinformation on this subject. Oh my God. You can, in fact, transfer back out to a broker if you like. When you DRS, you take back ownership from the people manipulating the stock. Nothing that he just said is true and can all be verifiably proven wrong with DTC and computer share source documentation. So, this is how the conversation went. This is what I said. I said, you have zero evidence for any of the claims you mentioned above. DRS has existed since the 1980s, and its sole purpose is to reduce DTCC's risk from the paper crunch that occurred back at that time. All you're doing is regurgitating industry narrative to help them dematerialize shares. How on earth would you take your shares from the people controlling it by literally putting them in the DTCC operated and controlled DRS? You wouldn't. And now you're claiming you don't need SIPC and FDIC insurance because, and then I said you're clearly just desperate for more followers and subs as you haven't looked into DRS whatsoever outside of Reddit, clearly. I'll continue to punish anyone who posts this nonsense with irrefutable facts. All it takes is reading ComputerShare's DRS terms and conditions to debunk everything you think DRS does. Then he finally comes back with, I didn't claim anything. Everything I say is a fact. I don't need followers or subs. I don't use Reddit either. Nice try. Come punish me. You will be exposed soon as a fraud. Yeah, that's what everyone in your position says because that's all that they have to cling on to is that I'm the fraud for calling out your bullshit despite you not showing any evidence against what I'm saying. Now, let's see then. He says everything he says is a fact. He doesn't need followers or subs. He doesn't use Reddit. He is convicted. So, where's the evidence? Let's find out. I said, you're going to fail just like everyone else did, and this is in response to proving that I'm a fraud. If I was a fraud, you would have already proven it by now because, again, there's literally no evidence for that claim. I was saying, if you're really this dense, that's pathetic. And then he comes back with, GME is doing it, so they're all stupid? What does that have to do with you proving any of the claims that you just talked about? It has nothing to do with it. So they are doing it, therefore what I say is true. This is childlike mentality, just like his next response when I ask a question. I say, how has GME short interest continued to go up if DRS prevents shorting? Then he comes back with, you're a dipshit. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't mean anything. I am a dipshit. I've told everyone this, openly admitted, every day almost, I'm a fucking retard. But this retard can hold you mofos up in the air looking like all kinds of stupid. So again, he goes back with, keep trying, rookie. I will shove DRS up your ass. Okay? But again, I feel like you owe the community that you're blindly pushing this info onto an explanation or at least answer to some of these easy questions, considering you told me to look more into this stuff and you're so convicted on what you're claiming. And by the way, none of this is evidence. He's getting angry now. This is what happens when someone doesn't have evidence and they make claims. Whenever those claims get held up for scrutiny, they get angry and they start attacking with ad hominem. So then I get tired of waiting for evidence, so I go ahead and I send him some evidence for my side of the argument utilizing DTCC's own documentation regarding DRS. And then he comes back with, "You and your paid shill group can fuck off." Okay. Again, not evidence, and you're ignoring everything that I'm saying that debunks everything you claim. He's backed into a corner, claws at me with no evidence still. I want you to take note of this, people, because this, I mean, in a court setting, he would have gotten wrecked just then. He would have, you know, there's nothing other than laughable statements coming from this guy. And then after he says, "You and your paid shill group can fuck off," I say, "So no evidence, just hate and attacks like the rest? I thought you've looked into it. Where's the evidence?" And then I get tired of waiting for his response again, so, you know, knowing he's not going to read the information I'm sending him that shits all over what he's saying, I go ahead and I take an excerpt from the document out of ComputerShare's own terms and conditions. It says right here in paragraph G, "ComputerShare will instruct its broker, which may be an affiliate of ComputerShare, to effect sales on any securities market where the company's shares are traded, subject to such terms and conditions with respect to price, delivery, or other factors as ComputerShare may determine. No instruction to sell shares recently acquired will be accepted until the shares are submitted for order." So, I mean, again, all you have to do is simply read this stuff to see that the DRS narrative is complete bullshit. But again, where is he? He says, "Is this all you got?" And, okay, so I'm asking you for evidence. You say that everything you say is true, yet you don't provide me any form of evidence whatsoever. And he just attacks, and then he says, "Is this all you got? You mean evidence debunking DRS? No, there's a fuck ton more. I'm just seeing how intellectually dishonest you are." So I ask him, "How do you explain this? I'm using ComputerShare documents. You're avoiding the question. Where is your evidence?" "You can read, right?" So I sent him another form of evidence showing that you do not have the power to direct the order of sales when it's time to sell. You do have to wait several days if you do want to sell out of your DRS account, and the DTCC still has ownership rights over your shares despite them being in DTCC. In the event something were to happen, they can draw down from the balance, called a fast balance. If you would have read into this, you would know it, but you haven't because you're just a regurgitator. So again, you tell me that you look into shit, but again, you can't provide anything of evidence. So it's fun to pretend, I guess. So again, I send him the evidence. I say there's the operational arrangements for DTCC, you know, the ones who control the DRS and run it. More evidence in there that debunks your claims. I was like, "Do you have anything or just ad hominem?" And still waiting on the guy to come back. And all I see basically is him typing something, and I'm like, "Listen, Cupcake, I don't want more angry text. I want facts, evidence. Let's see some. If you still think you're right after reading the above information that I sent, you're intellectually dishonest because you have provided nothing." And then I come back after waiting a little bit longer. I say, "So I provide dematerialization white paper showing the motive for incentivizing DRS, the terms from ComputerShare, and the operational arrangements," and all he comes back with is, "Nuh-uh, you're a shill and a fraud and a dipshit." And then he blocks me. When I tried to send, "Yeah, exactly what I thought, you have nothing, just claims," and once those claims are challenged, you get angry and you block me. So there you have it, people. If this guy had evidence for DRS doing anything of the sort of what is being claimed, where's the fucking evidence? Why did he block me? I didn't threaten him. I just said, "Where's your evidence?" And he runs away with his tail tucked between his legs, just like Boss Blunts did with Metzler, just like Crean does with DRS GME side, just like all of the Redditors who come and comment or try to comment on YouTube. zero evidence from any of these people, so there can only mean one thing. They're all fucking bots, or they're all paid actors. So, who do you want to go with? The guy with evidence that irrefutably debunks this shit, or the dumbasses on YouTube who have nothing, attack you when you challenge their narrative, and then run away like children and block you because they have nothing to answer you with? It's on you. I just put these videos out because, hey, why not? People are getting taken advantage of out there by idiots like this, who are telling you they've looked into stuff, but yet can't provide any evidence, won't read the evidence debunking what they say, and then when they get backed into a corner with no way out, they fucking block you and run away like little children. So, Mr. FroggyStonks, you have no evidence for DRS. You've proven yourself to be just like all the other YouTubers, and basically, you can fuck right off. Oh, and by the way, good luck proving that I'm a fraud. I'll be waiting for that one, just like I'm waiting for Lou's lawsuit that he sent me, right? None of these people are worth a fuck, in my opinion. And Froggy, I have nothing against you, bro, but you just got owned. You have nothing. And if you did, you probably should have shown it. But we all know you don't. You just have claims. Somebody prove me wrong. Somebody, come on, let's do it. Let's see it. Without using Reddit, without using the internet, without using an opinionated article that was written, only in 2021, 2022 about DRS and short selling. Come on, let's see some evidence. No one has any. I've been waiting for a year. No one has shit. So again, you can believe what you want, but anyone with a half of a brain cell can see this is complete and utter bullshit. Otherwise, you'd have evidence for it.